Blumhouse, because we're going to be talking about monster movies now on our next topic. It's all about Universal's classic monster movies coming to YouTube for free. That's free, not three, free. And this is interesting, and it's very exciting as well, John. I'm just going to take this little article from Screen Rant, surprise, and then I'll let you in. It's really just giving you the release dates of these films and when you will be able to see them on Netflix.
Yes.
I assume this is probably the US, so we'll have to work out time zones for ourselves. But thanks to the distributor NBC Universal, some of the Universal Studios' most iconic horror classics will soon be free to watch on YouTube. In the 1930s, Universal released a series of hit monster movies that made them synonymous with horror and spawned the genre's golden age, many of which continue to influence American culture. While scholars have identified plenty of the movies from the silent era that could be classified as horror, some have argued that it became a distinct film genre with the 1931's Dracula, which started Universal's classic run. The studio released Frankenstein later that same year, and the actors behind the two monsters, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, both became stars. While they both featured in other roles for Universal, only Karloff's portrayal of the Mummy in 1932 would sit alongside those two characters in the studio's monster Thonian, rounded up by Claude Rains in The Invisible Man 1933, which is amazing effects. John, have you ever seen any clips of this 1933 film?
Yeah.
What they've done in that film for that era was absolutely nothing short of a miracle. Elsa Lancashire in Bride of Frankenstein 1935 and Lon Chaney Jr. in The Wolfman 1941. And I'll just finish it up, John, with this. Now, horror fans get the chance to revisit those classics on NBC Universal's YouTube channel, Fear the Home of Horror. According to NME, Dracula and the Mummy will be added on January 15th, Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein on January 16th, and The Invisible Man, The Wolfman, and the comedy crossover Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein from 1948 on January 17th, all at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll let you work that one out, John.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Each of the
8
yeah,
o'clock.
well, I think
8 o'clock.
Yeah. So, we're 5 hours ahead, aren't we?
Yeah.
Each of the movies will be free to watch for about a week, and it will also cost less to download a digital copy during that time. The channel already offers other classic horror content, ranging from clips and trailers to short documentaries on the monsters themselves. So, in these films, says it in the article anyway, they're very important historical artifacts, without, blown out of proportion. These are the films that have inspired today's generation of filmmakers, the Blumhouses, etc., to remake these films. We wouldn't have got this year's or last year's The Invisible Man without, obviously, the classic one from yesteryear. But what's your thoughts on this, John? I think that's a great idea.
Steve, it's a brilliant idea. I don't know why more studios don't do this. It opens up these movies to a new demographic, a new generation, who wouldn't have had the chance to watch these movies prior to it, just because it's very difficult to probably acquire copies. You'd have to go down the illegal route, probably pirating.
Yeah.
This gives it in a more legal way, and if they are inspired by maybe one of these movies, they'll probably be inspired to go off and explore a new avenue of film which they wouldn't have looked at before. So it's a very smart move by Universal. Will ultimately reap rewards for them in terms of financial sides of things. They will make money out of this because a new generation of eager fans will watch this. We see it on YouTube, Stephen. These younger generations reacting to the Beatles and Elvis. I don't buy they've seen these. I don't buy that's the first time they've seen these songs, incidentally, but there's an eager generation out there. And I've seen it as well. I've seen YouTube channels where they're watching movies for the first time. First watch of Shawshank, first watch of all these great movies. If they've got it on YouTube at their fingertips, they could just watch it for free and click right on it. And it's and it's inspired. And as you did say, Stephen, classic movies, absolute classic horror movies. We wouldn't have the 15 million remakes of Frankenstein and Dracula that we've had if it wasn't for these ones. And you look at that image there, I'll bring it up very briefly. The technology, as you did say, with The Invisible Man, of course, the famous shot of him with the sort of snood, the sort of sack over his head and the glasses. But the technology, the makeup design, the technical side of these movies was groundbreaking. These movies are 80 years old, 70 years old, so it's absolutely astonishing what they accomplished back in those days. And it'll be fascinating to get to watch it again. Some of them, I've not seen them all. I can't say I've seen them all. I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, you think of these films and the as you said, the countless remakes, but then you also get the ones that do a different spin on the classic films. The Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein, for instance. You know, would that have existed without these classic films? Certainly wouldn't.
One of my all-time favourites.
And his style in that film, although it is an out-and-out comedy, there is a little horror element in it as well. But I'm talking about obviously the aesthetics of the film, the way it looks. It's using those traditional, ways of filmmaking, the way it's shot, the sound effects, everything about that has been inspired by those films. The other thing as well, John.
I try to do Marty filming there, Stephen. I don't have to try. John, I've got Graves' disease. I can do it.
The other thing as well, going back to YouTube, having that facility there to have these films on for free. When YouTube Red came out, they gave just the ordinary members of the public, I think it was 3 free episodes of Cobra Kai, the first season, and that was just to introduce a new generation. Like you said, John, it's a good facility to introduce a new generation into films and television programs from yesteryear. These characters that today's generation wouldn't have known about without obviously having that access. So it's a fantastic idea.
Stephen, you know firsthand that a new generation has been introduced to the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. Fervently watching it. Yeah. 8-year-old, 7 years old. So.
Yeah, she loves it. She absolutely loves it. I think it's
because
proof.
It's proof that it works.
Yeah. I think as well, John, we're kind of going off on a tangent. Peyton List is obviously in it. She's a big fan of hers from the Disney stuff, and they know what they're doing over there. But getting back to, obviously, YouTube, I take my hat off to them. I think it's a great idea, obviously from the Studios channel, but to have that facility there for everyone to watch, I certainly will be catching up on these as well. It's a good idea as well to have them on for a whole week.
Yeah.
There's been a few things that have been released prior, that have been only available for maybe a few hours online and stuff like that, and it wasn't really ideal for people like us ourselves in the UK. The time factor for these things. I can hear Harley in the background if I'm correct. I can hear him shaking.
He's sitting down there, Stephen, and he's shaking, not still shaking, not snubbed.
But John, I'm going to move on unless you've got anything else to say.
No, I've got nothing else to say other than to say I'm very excited to see some of these classic movies. So, well done, Universal.
Yeah, well done.